everybody. A happy Saturday. I hope your weekend is off to a good start. There has actually been it's a beautiful day in New York, and I want to go and enjoy it. Quite frankly, because it's been raining a lot of the week. Anyway, I'm back for another review of Love After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 23, First Times and Second Chances. Okay, was it just me? Or did this whole episode seem like they just had random ass party favors hooked up in people's hotel rooms, houses, apartments? I'll explain. But real quick, before we get into this, I saw something on TikTok, y'all, and I was mind blown. I was mind blown, okay? Some black man had posted Martin Luther King went to jail X amount of times. Malcolm X was in jail for X amount of times. And then you wonder why I'm going to vote for Trump in 2024. A convicted felon. And he said that. Baby, let me tell you something. I don't know what kind of ignorant fuck shit y'all are on, but reading is absolutely fundamental. First of all, Martin Luther King had a record for civil disobedience and protest. And that, to me, in the words of Reverend Joseph Lowry, is good crazy. Okay? Malcolm X went to jail and never went back. Okay? And then fought a good cause, despite the fact that he lived, and we still live in a very violent, white supremacist, racist nation. Okay? But he fought against it. Good crazy. Despite the consequences that you know are coming, you believe in the cause. Trump, convicted felon 30 plus times for hush money, another indiscretion, forcing himself on women. Bad crazy. Okay, and I don't know what the fuck y'all think y'all gonna get out of Trump after he's already showed his entire ass. And just so you know, I know that groceries are high. I know that taxes are incredibly high. Trust me, I live in New York, so on top of it, high. You do realize that the tax code that exists is the Trump implemented tax code, right? That's the one that we're still under. Now, we can have a conversation, and we should, and pressure our representatives as to why they haven't fucking changed it. And our taxes are also high because we're paying for a war that we did not vote on. Our representatives did, and all of them need to fucking leave. Especially if you disagree with it. Because I damn sure don't believe, and I have no problem saying this, funding Israel to carry out the genocide of Palestinians on their own fucking land. Please stop being ignorant, y'all. Please. And by ignorant, I mean just straight up not checking into things. And not clicking on, as I have told my students forever, the first 2 or 3 things that come up on Google. That means they were clicked on the most, not the most informative. Thanks. All right, anyway, so let's get started. So let's start with Zariah and Troy. Zariah, I think, is the one that's going to end up becoming the star of the show just because the producers already know what we don't know. Anyway, so Troy finally gets out. He came out, and honestly, when he came out, he looked like a college student. Like, if you just told me, like, he was in school, I believe it. He's one of those people I think will be able to reintegrate himself into society. And it may sound kind of shallow about the way one looks, but just kind of the way he carried himself. Now, I may eat these words in a couple of weeks, but nevertheless. So, apparently, his parole officer and shit, he had to get an ankle bracelet before he left, and he has to wear it for 2.5 years. Speaking of people who have been convicted of crimes and all this other stuff, that's bullshit, okay? Nobody needs to be on an ankle monitor for that fucking long. After serving time, no. I disagree. Damn sure not for something like attempted robbery. Like, that's inhumane to me. An ankle monitor, as far as I'm concerned, is just a high-tech way of, like, slave tracking. I'm sorry. People can say, oh, you on the stretch. Y'all need to read more about slavery, too. While we're on it, Anyway, so she got him a money bouquet, and I was like, why? But then again, I thought to myself, well, I guess he don't have a debit card or anything yet, so all right. Does he really need cash on him like that? Maybe. But then she got him this cheap Party City Five Below crown since he's her king. This is what I mean. Like, I kept seeing this show up in multiple scenes. Cheap Party City crowns. Like something was left in the WeTV basement or broom closet, and they were like, we need to get rid of this stuff. Y'all want to use it? And they were like, yeah, like dumb shit. Anyway, she got him a crown since he's her king. Black people, and I've said this before, I really think y'all need, and I say y'all because I don't, y'all need to lighten up on the use of queen and king, okay? It's very hard to be a king with an ankle monitor. That means you're not a boss, you're not making decisions. And quite frankly, that's what real kings did, all right? The few that are left do. Not the Tea Party king and queens like King Charles. Nevertheless, I just also think people don't realize to be a king and a queen is only a compliment because very few people ever get to be king or queen. So you walking around calling people kings and queens, it actually devalues that name. Please stop. Please stop. Just stop. It's corny. All right? Was it just me, or did y'all notice how Zariah didn't kiss him fresh out of prison? And they were just like basically rubbing faces. Honestly, I was here for it, okay? Let him go, take a shower, bathe, soap, brush his teeth, and then get to it. All right, so anyway, they get to the hotel because apparently her parents do a better job of staying out of her business than others that we've seen on the several seasons of the show. Why was he driving the car, though? And this is a real question. I didn't look this up. I probably should have. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I watch this for entertainment. Do you get your license back automatically? I don't doubt that he knows how to drive. But do you get your license automatically after jail? Like, it's just part of, like, the clothes you came in with? Was I the only one to notice that? I'm sure I wasn't. Anyway, but I'm sure somebody has an answer. So just put it down in the comments. So, and it may depend on the state, but still, I just would like to know. So she decorated the room. Apparently, her and Hope, as we saw, bought their streamers from the same place. I'm sorry, not bought. Were given to them by the same WeTV producers. Don't mind that, it's New York. All right. But I guess it's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts. So she got a vagina steamer, which is fine. I hear they're very helpful. I hear the only time you're not supposed to use them in terms of cleanliness, obviously, is not on your period, but like when you're pregnant or something like that. But she got a vagina steamer and had him use it. First of all, they did the steamer before a bath. And girl, that's for women. And he was right. It is shaped like a vagina because it's not meant for that. Like, what does she think she's doing? Does she really think she can steam off any STIs or STDs? Like, Zariah, I'm trying with you. I'm trying. Well, not really about that much. But anyway, so she's screwing him in the tub. Okay. And it wasn't even enough water in there for somebody who, like, it's just, these people be on some other shit. Anyway, so let's move on to Julian and Christine because we don't get that much of them. So he gives her phone. I was like, how does he even have her phone to return it? I mean, maybe he got it from her mother or something. I don't know. Or family. But it just seems like, how long was she in there? She was already in the Martha Stewart prison. I don't know why she couldn't keep her phone. Anyway, she had a drug problem, which is, I'm not saying this to be mean, but I could tell. I mean, you can, when her mouth is crooked, she was using heavy stuff at some point. She had a drug problem. She said she went to her mom, who didn't raise her. She had been raised by her grandparents and stuff like that. By the time she was 11, her mom wanted her back, but she didn't want to leave. So anyway, they have a broken relationship. So, but this time with her drug problem, she had children, and instead of helping her, the mom called CPS and got full custody of her children. There's a few ways we can read this until we get further information, if we do, in this series. Is that one, this was her mother's form of payback for her child not having wanted to live with her and feeling embarrassed as a mother that her child didn't want to come and live with her, and then this was an opportunity for her. It could also, to get her back. Now I'm taking your kids. that kind of shit, which is possible. Um, and then there's also the aspect of how heavy was she using, and did she become concerned immediately? And you know, we only know what she tells us, but that could go either way. So she hasn't seen her twins in 8 years. I was like, oh, they were twins? Um, her ex ignores her. This is why I said this could have gone either way. Her ex basically ignores her when she wants to see her children, and the family ignores her. And it is sad. All right, it is sad that she has children who are still very young. Don't think for a second they don't have questions about their mother, where she is, and keeping them away from her is going to, it will eventually lead to a great deal of resentment from the father, not from the father, to the father and to the mother. It is. However, I wonder how bad her drug use really was, that maybe they were concerned about, well, if they resent me, that is still better than what they may see their mother in. Like, it's not like, I understand people want to see their kids, I think particularly women, in jail, but I do know of quite a few people that never wanted their kids to come and see them in jail, because it's a very degrading space to be. I mean, you're chained and that kind of thing. She wasn't. That's why I say this story, it needs to unfold. Anyway, you can tell she's been on drugs, and drugs really destroy your body and your face, your mind. And I realize that people often look to drugs because there's a deeper issue. There's a pain somewhere that you need to numb. There is a desire to release yourself from whatever is haunting you. And drugs provide sometimes a temporary relief, but long-term damage. All right? So they have no plans to use protection for sex. And I said, did I miss something? Are they married? Have they been STI and STD tested? Are they trying to get pregnant? Are you trying to fill that void that basically and has essentially led to a void because your ex does not let you see your children and your mother called CPS? Like, is that what we're trying to do? Because I was just like, huh? Why did y'all people need to tell us that? That's so weird. And yes, Julian still looks like somebody who has multiple women in his trunk and kills them. And then just puts, like, air fresheners over it. I'm just saying, that's what he looks like, okay? Fuck it. All right, so Kim and Joey. So Kim is the teacher's aide. It's amazing to me how educators, teachers, full-time teachers get blamed for everything. And then they let the likes of people like Kimmy on this show and still serve as a teacher's aide. She shouldn't be around children of any age. And I'm gonna explain why. Okay, although I think it should be obvious, but nevertheless, she shouldn't be around kids like that in that way under those circumstances. And she's had an awful lot of money to spend on this man in jail, and that's her bread and butter. Girl, what else are you doing on the side? Anyway, so especially not after being on a show like this, of all things. So the last time she was with Joey was 2018, okay? And her body has changed since having kids. I think all women worry about that, and we saw that multiple times in this episode, and quite frankly, in real life, I think women worry about that. I know. I have. Anyway, Kim is the second person on this show that we heard about in detail having these psychosomatic problems, like Zariah. This sort of sickness they feel like when they're about to come into contact with these men. And as far as I'm concerned, or pick these men up from jail, it's your intuition, and I'm gonna need you to listen to it. Okay? So she brought him a new phone and shared their locations on it and said if he's not doing anything wrong, he doesn't have anything to worry about. That's already a sign y'all don't have no business together. You don't trust this man. And he's been in jail. And you have children at home. Bitch, come up off of it. And you slept with your cousins first. And you knew it was her first. And her boyfriend. I don't give a fuck how young they were. She knew better. She ain't give a fuck. That's a hoe from the spirit. Anyway. See, I kind of think that actually would have been more appropriate, though, while we're on it, even though I think it's ridiculous. Shantae probably should have done that, though. But at the same time, she wasn't trying to make him feel like a prisoner, even though he's gaslighting the fuck out of her. But we'll get to him, True, in a second. True, who is obviously false. Anyway, I don't know where he from. All right. So Kim says that Joey has a habit of dating tasteless, trashy, drug addict women. I said, well, bitch, then you fit the bill. You're definitely his type. You should go and get married right now. Anyway, so she goes to pick him up at a place called Craggy Correctional Center in Asheville, North Carolina. Craggy is a pretty appropriate name. No further explanation needed. So Joey gets out of jail. He started getting into trouble. We heard the story around the age of 14 or 15. Same story, a very common story. Those teenage years getting in trouble that just leads you to a terrible life, hanging around the wrong people, that kind of thing. So Joey, another one who didn't shower and then changed his clothes in the parking lot, much like True did at that restaurant without taking a shower. Kim is bringing this man home. He's paroled to her home where her 2 children, who are still small, and she was most worried about his drug use and him going back to that. What the fuck are you doing bringing a man that you're concerned about being a drug addict, who is not their father, back into the home? And even if he was, but at least if it was their father, I could understand why she was trying to help him. This is a man you knew in high school and shit, and you're bringing him around your 2 children, one of which looks like it could have been born during this during his prison stint. But you know, I don't mean to go in on kids. Is that really a way to live? And Kim is lying like Kim Zolciak. Like, you look a good 43. Okay? Like, I don't know what the problem is, but please stop telling people that you're younger than you are, because you're lying. Something's wrong somewhere. Anyway, Letitia and Keith. Letitia is so ratchet. So... it makes for good TV now. So they've been married for 2 years while he's in the joint, and it's been 45 years since she's had sex, okay? She told us, okay? She told us. I have no comment on that. I'm just saying she told us. All right, so we find out that Keith's sister and Letitia have been beefing, all right? She's mad that she spent $15,000 on her ring, took that money out of his account so she could have the kind of ring she wanted. All right. And initially, I was like, oh, I didn't realize that was his sister, but I was thinking about Marcia, the aunt. And she's been talking shit apparently behind her back. Now, saying things like he could do better. Sis, since we didn't meet you, can he do better? With a woman who has a house, a car, children, and clearly can provide for herself despite her own record. Let's not act like your brother is a prize. I understand you love him and you want to have his back. At least that's what I think. Relax. Now, she should have done that $15,000, but at the end of the day, that's between them. And if he ain't put no battery in your back, girl, leave it alone. But I do understand why she wouldn't like you, Letitia. Because never mind. Anyway, so she wants the family to have a get-together so she can address his sister. First of all, that's already messy and crazy and bitchy. And it turns out, Letitia's been hearing that she said these things. She hasn't actually interacted with his sister about these things. And I'm just like, but you were going to invite the whole family so you could address her and get it out on the table, and hopefully they would have your back. Baby, blood's thicker than water any day. It's thicker than water any day. That wasn't going to happen. And quite frankly, that's some tacky shit. All right? Especially since this is your real life. And your kids were there. Not simply in the house. Downstairs in the kitchen. So she doesn't want to wait for him to come back because she said her sister's going to be on some fake shit. Well, sometimes you got to be faking life. Like, it's like when people say, I just can't do it. I have to keep it real all the time. This and the other. You can't. And if you do, there are serious consequences. There's already consequences in life for doing the right thing. But everything you think does not have to be said. Every time you feel something, it does not have to be expressed. There are ways that we have to get along in society and function that necessitate us just kind of going along to get along sometimes. All right, and that's what I mean. Like, I don't think that's productive in that way. It may be better because he was like they're two strong-willed people, as he told us over the phone, for him to be back. And it just seems like you want this to go down because I think you're really afraid that he's going to tell you slow your roll, this, that, and the other. I do understand how she feels though, but I also understand Keith too because shit like that can go left. So anyway, they had to get together to tell them about his immediate release. They announced or whatever. Why was she talking to Auntie Marcia about her niece, his sister, in front of the little girl? This is what I mean by ratchet. Like, these people are so ratchet. Her, Kimmy, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, this is why these kids grow up and they so, like, the mental health rates and the, unaliving of oneself for people who are children and teenagers has gotten much higher in the past 15 to 20 years. It is also in line with that kind of parenting known as gentle parenting, and that kind of treating your kids as an equal and as, you can do whatever you want for your kids because that's the real thing to do. Or, no, my kid is my equal and I want him to learn or her to learn. And y'all aren't treating children in developmentally appropriate ways. Doing any and everything in front of your children is not a good look. You may do stuff when you go out with your friends. Your fucking kids shouldn't find out. And then y'all wonder why they have all these mental health issues. Giving them everything, giving them a tablet instead of a book. Like, I'm telling you, it's not helping. And it teaches them that they can do whatever they want. And the difference is they do whatever they want. They don't know what to do. So they do wild things. And a lot of that is a cry for help and a cry for attention. Anyway, I don't want to get on my soapbox, but the teenage daughter is over, and that's what she really needs to pay attention to, because teenage depression is real. I experienced that. I didn't know what it was until later when I was taking a college class on psychology. That's how bad it was. I didn't even realize that that's what I was doing. That's what I was going through. That's why I had stopped eating. Like, stuff like that. Like, I know. Anyway, so I thought his father was his brother. I said, oh, he is aged so nice. So the sister can't make it. She said she wasn't feeling good. The mother clearly was just trying to be polite, not create a situation. Was it me, or did it take a second for them to get excited? With the exception of his youngest sister, like, it took everybody like, is he really getting... You sure about that? Did you check on that? Anyway, but, whatever. That was nice. So, Letitia said she thinks it's sick that his sister didn't show up to hear about the brother she claims to love. I said, bitch, let me stop you right there. You a little too in the family business. I know you're married to him, but when you are not blood, I'm telling you, blood is thicker than water. And then people will flip on you. Slow your roll. Okay? And you didn't tell them what they were meeting about. So don't act like she was supposed to know this. Like, bitch, stop. It's still his sister, and you wanted her over there so y'all could fight it out. That's what you wanted. You wanted a good scene. All right, then she tells everybody she has a surprise and pulls out this crown, screaming, my king's coming home. I told you the same party favors from Party City's Clearance Rack and Five Below. Like, what the fuck? Why was everybody just having these plastic-ass crowns that don't even fit nobody's head? At least the Burger King crown, you could fix it to where it would fit the size of your head. What is going on? It's just dumb shit. Anyway, so that's them for this episode. So Hope and Arthur. Am I missing something? Am I the only one who thinks Hope is ugly? And I really don't like to call people ugly, but I think she's ugly. Like, apparently the pink hair, the Fashion Nova stretch dress is her at her best. And I don't know if she got that because I'm a mixed girl, because she has to be mixed. The camping, the pink hair, the texture, the outright disrespect to his mother, like not knowing, maybe I should roll up. It just doesn't seem very, I was raised by a black mother, but I could be wrong. So is Vegas a good place for former convicts? And I ask that because it just seems like Vegas as a location of people's families and living spaces has been overrepresented in the episodes over the years and the seasons over the years. And I'm wondering, is that just, it's been overrepresented on this show and this franchise, generally speaking. And I'm just curious, is Vegas like a good place to get your life back on track or something? Anyway, so he told her he doesn't want to go camping. It's hot. It's only going to get hotter. And that's when I was like, oh no, she's half white. She has to be, because why would you think camping, not simply, I'm not saying black people don't camp, I guess. I went once. I was also very stressed out and depressed in graduate school, and I went to Joshua Tree, and I drove my own car, and a friend who had money invited a bunch of us, and I said, I'm scared of coyotes. That shit was wild. And that's when I found out, not simply found out, but that overt, disgusting racism of the South is definitely in the West the same. Okay. And in case you didn't know, Californians also participated in the Civil War, Southern Californians, because they wanted slavery to continue. That North-South thing is not the whole story, just so you know. All right, but anyway, and it was glamping. They already had like food. It was grilled, not grilled, but like really, anyway. One night and I took my black ass back home. Okay, now, nevertheless, he just got out of jail. He don't want to sleep on the ground. What the fuck is wrong with you? And then it turns into, so you're saying your mom was right. Maybe a hotel is appropriate. Like, let him sleep in a real bed, bitch. And then I didn't realize they were actually going to Dallas. Like, girl, stop. Stop. Camping is not the next stop at a jail. Unless you got a job waiting on him there, no. So, the way she was chomping on that gum and eye rolling, his wanting to be in some air conditioning, I wanted to hit that bitch so hard in her face. That shit pissed me the fuck off. It just did. She takes him to her apartment, her very nice apartment with a view. It was decorated much like her wardrobe. It just wasn't hitting, but it's a very nice living space. She could do more with it. So her setup, once again, has the same party streamers that Zariah was using. I was waiting for the crown and shit, but whatever. So I looked at the way that apartment was set up, that nice, very nice apartment, and I was like, man, back to the drawing board. I don't know, what the hell? Why is it so poorly? I mean, I get that she's gone a lot, but I mean, like, the cheapness of having streamers instead of curtains. Like, why even put the streamers up there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just wild shit to me. Anyway, so yeah, we got that. So they woke up. He said they had sex, but it was exhausting. I was like, I don't know that I've ever heard that from a man on this show straight out of jail. Doesn't mean it's not true or that they didn't feel it. It just made me go, Anyway, she starts crying in the bed, and he basically asked her why. And I was like, oh no, was it that bad? But anyway, she starts talking about ruining their relationship the first time because she cheated or whatever. Now, oh no, I really didn't mean, I really did not mean to do that. Hope, like Kimmy, gives me those vibes anyway. That's just what she does. Anyway, so she got it, yeah, because she cheated the first time. And I'm just like, but he was in prison though, y'all. Like, is she supposed to live like a monk? Like, give me a break. So she got a tattoo that says man on it. And I was like, oh, was that her child? Or was that some other man? Because he was like, I see you got that tattoo. But he didn't say it like an excited way. So I was just like, okay, well, that, I thought that was a nickname for a little boy. Hey, man, come here. All right. So she got a tattoo that says man on it because he said he got her tattooed on him, and she sent him $300 for it. Turns out, despite all those tattoos, including that Illuminati or pyramid with the eye on whatever the fuck that isosceles triangle is on his forehead, all the tattoos he got, he only got one of a rose. And she was like, what's that symbolize? He was like, life. It's like, nigga. A bunny rabbit. That's what's used at Easter, means new life. Like, what the fuck? The Easter egg. Like, what are you talking about? Honestly, he could have gotten Hope on his arm. He could have done her that solid, because quite frankly, because even if it doesn't work out, you can still rock with a tattoo like Hope. Right? Because if another woman says, oh, where did you get Hope from? Is that somebody? You go, no, I just, after being in jail, I just believed in hope. You know what I mean? Like, She gave him $300 for a tattoo. I don't have any tattoos. Um, but that is expensive. But then again, it is artwork, and I guess you're paying for the style and stuff. So she was like, the hardest part of being in prison is that you'll never know the truth. You don't know what he's saying or doing. Once again, another one, Kimmy, Zariah, her. Y'all do not trust these men. And you probably shouldn't, because people have been locked up. I mean, it's just a natural instinct to want to be free. Like, so she's feeling stupid because her friends told her that he was lying and using her. So maybe that's why she said, when she said, you know, I really messed up. And he was like, I fucked up too. I was like, oh, what you do? In prison. But maybe that's what he meant. Like, he had lied to her or whatever. But he's going to hang with his mother. And she wants to know, how long is he going to be gone? It's still his mother, Hope. And he just got out of prison. Honestly, just give him some fucking space while he's gone. And hell, if you don't trust him, change your locks too. Call locksmith over. All that money you done spent, a little bit more won't hurt you. All right, and then that's just it. And then be done with him if that's what you want. You don't want to bother with his mother. But his mama ain't going nowhere. His mother's still his mother. All right, now for the star of the show. I said Zariah was being set up for the star, but I think the real star, okay, the real breakout star here is Shantae True. Oh my gosh, quick question. Is True his street name, or is that really his name? I really am asking. So Shantae wakes up after a good night with True, and he is nowhere to be found. Why do I feel sorry for Shantae? I really do. And I know people go in on her and call her stupid. And while I know her decisions are, I feel bad for her. I just really feel like she's just in the dumps with her self-esteem. Because she's not stupid. Like, she knows what's going on, but I think somewhere in her mind she feels like this is the best she can do. Anyway, so he's not answering any calls or text messages with the phone she bought him. See, that already's a problem for me. So he's driving around town with his sister, which is fine. But why not just tell her that? That's what I mean. Isn't it amazing? It's amazing to me, at least, how he talks about black women are ratchet and ghetto, even when he was saying this from jail. He got him to call other people ratchet and ghetto, and he dates white women and stuff, but black women have been the ones taking him around, providing for him while he was not only in prison, but since he left. Black women specifically, with jobs, with children, with responsibility. His sister and Shantae. The fuck out of here. So she's calling his phone, and he says that he hasn't picked up and didn't tell her because he doesn't have to, because he's free. Maybe you don't have to, but this is your fiance, and out of respect and maturity, you need to do so. And granted, his sister was like, you do know you're going to talk to her at some point. And, you know, his sister was on some fuck shit originally when we met her and the mother. But I feel like when she's not around the mother, she's not that bad. Maybe she feels like it's her responsibility to be on her mother's side. Once again, blood thicker than water. So, his sister asked him about Shantae, and he said she doesn't look him in the eye, and she always has an attitude. He hasn't been out for 24 fucking full hours. And he keeps going back to the attitude thing, which is typical, I'm sorry, black male behavior. It's the attitude. Because it's a way of dismissing black women's feelings and frustrations and ideas, and actually, quite frankly, state of being. And him building up to why white women should be worshipped. And he's been in jail since he was fucking 18. Why do they, I mean, the fact they keep bringing up he never dated a black woman, well, shit, he shouldn't have been dating women, period. He was dating white girls in high school? But see, it's still that mentality. And men who never have anything to say, I'm always questioning lots of things about black men like that. But anyway, and what sometimes is perceived as an attitude, as culturally competent sociologists have pointed out, is oftentimes because of our perception of the way stress can be dealt with in white people has been diverted from really understanding what an attitude looks like with black women. It also can be a distinguishing factor of tiredness, stress, and quite frankly, True, you might as well be another fucking kid. All the shit she got to do for you running around. Anyway, so she has the right to have feelings. That's what I'm getting at. She's a homebody, and he was like, I didn't know how much of one she was. What the fuck did you think a homebody was? All that time you spent in jail, you never thought about reading nothing? You didn't look it up? Motherfucker, please. Okay? Maybe, and not only that, you just got out yesterday. Maybe she don't feel like going out on her dime. The fuck? His sister was like, he shouldn't have jumped in a relationship straight out of jail. Agreed. He's clearly not ready. But they're engaged, and clearly he is way too immature and used her. I think that's why I feel bad for her. So he said he wants to see Tisha, his sister friend. Okay. Anyway, so he hasn't called his parole officer either. I'm free. I'm free. You ain't gonna be free for long. You violate parole, you dumb fuck. So, but he coming back home with Wendy's. He came back home from Wendy's, and I'm gonna tell you the part that pissed me the fuck off. He didn't bring shit in there for her. I don't give a fuck if you didn't want to pick up that phone and you just wanted to guess and bring it in as a peace offering. Just get her something anyway. You low down dirty son of a bitch. Anyway, he had the nerve to come back in and ask, what's wrong with you? Knowing damn well he's been gone for half the day. Then he has this stupid smirk on his face, a sign, once again, of immaturity. And was like, what you think she dropped me off at a female's house? She was like, I have a lot of brothers, and my loyalty is to them, especially when they're not married. I would take up for my brother too. Yep. He calls his sister on speaker, and I was like, he's gonna try to create a situation between him and her, and says, where did we go? She was like, we went to the mall, the shoe store, the jewelry store, whatever. So he starts dogging her to her face. Like, he's already mad at her for what he has not done. These motherfuckers is wild. And says she's boring and a homebody. Motherfucker, she done paid for Airbnb. Both y'all need to fucking stay home. Maybe also because she's a grown woman, and I know you missed out on a lot of time maturing, going out every night after already traveling to get your sorry ass out of jail in the town she doesn't even fucking live in. Maybe she's fucking tired. Have you considered that? And you can pick up the phone and tell her, hey, I wanted to do these things. I know you don't really like to go out. Whatever. And I'm in an area, which means him and his sister probably had this plan anyway. And I'm in an area, she was making a point where she doesn't know anybody. Yeah, that makes you uncomfortable. The fuck you expect, you dumb bastard? So then to say if their relationship doesn't work out, that's on her. I said, it's called a relationship for a reason. Oh, Lord, and help me. Help me. Okay? And all this stuff was, gaslighting. Textbook gaslighting and immaturity. So if things go wrong, it's her fault automatically. So you're already setting this up to blame her. He has that blame black women mentality anyway, and I am not here for it. So he tries to drive, and she says no. Once again, my question remains: do people get out of jail and have their license? They just hand it back to you, and then it's like reactivated automatically? Do they scan something? Like what the fuck? She was like, no, we're going to see your PO. That's what I mean. It's like having another fucking child for her. That should have been your first order of business. He says he's not about to be stressed out about this, but he's giving me the impression he wants to go back and he don't give a fuck. Because clearly he don't know how adulthood works. So he says when he gets bored, that's what leads him into trouble. That's how he got in trouble the first time. Shantae is dealing with an idiot. She's absolutely right. What do you mean bored? As in you have to have something to play with, fidget, distract you in order not to get bored. That's why you should have picked up a hobby. Okay? Because I thought the Hope and Arthur thing with her buying him a sewing machine because he wanted to be designed. And that's my thing. She made sure he had something to do. But he also had an interest. He also started doing that despite what people were saying in prison. And see, that's my thing. It's mentality about not going back, not wanting to do that kind of shit. All right? He says this is supposed to feel like a job. Motherfucker, yes it is. And it shouldn't feel like when you ain't getting paid. But you don't keep up with your parole officer. She's actually looking out for you. A woman who didn't help you do that would see you right back in jail. Fuck out of here, man. Maybe your PO was gone by the time you got there because you were playing around instead of handling business for half the day. I can't with this. But anyway, that's my thought. Y'all can tell me what y'all think in the comments and what y'all know about these driver licenses. But enjoy your Saturday, and I'll talk to y'all soon.